Now, a tech company's comeback on Wall Street is being viewed as much more than a boon for just shareholders. In a fresh new piece for the Free Press, Patrick McGee argues Intel could help secure America's 21st century economy. That's if it can successfully compete with Taiwan when it comes to the production of semiconductor chips. Now, we should point out the Free Press is a subsidiary of Paramount Global and operates under the CBS News division. Patrick McGee is here with us in person this morning, which is a real treat. He's a CBS News contributor and contributing writer at the Free Press and the author of, where is the book? Apple in China, the capture of the world's greatest company. Patrick, great to have you here with us after being remote for so long. Let's just start at the very top. Explain why you believe Intel could be the one company that helps the U.S. compete against the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company known as TSMC, and why this is such a big deal.
So this is not really an argument. These are just the facts on the ground. Intel is a historic leader in chips. It's really sort of fallen by the wayside over the last 10 to 15 years, but it's the only company in America remotely capable of competing with TSMC. What people need to know about TSMC is that it's the world's most important maker of semiconductors in the sense of actually fabricating them, manufacturing them. So Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google, all the companies that you can really think of, they design their own chips, and then they get made at TSMC, this contract manufacturer in Taiwan. So their market share of advanced chips is more than 90%. So our reliance on this one company is basically insane. And Taiwan's a thriving democracy. It's a great place. Spent some time there 2 months ago. But China sees it as a rogue province. So if China ever makes good on that promise, invades Taiwan, blockades Taiwan, something like that, the world's historically enormous tech companies would suffer the equivalent of a meteor strike. The only company capable in America, this is facts on the ground, not a Patrick argument, would be that Intel is the TSMC +1 strategy for all of those companies.
So you've really laid out why the U.S. economy relies on bringing this back domestically. But you also write in your piece that this isn't a guarantee that this is going to be a surefire thing. What are the challenges that Intel faces?
No, I mean, to be clear, last August, Intel was left for dead. I mean, it was considered a has-been that wasn't going to be able to make it. And effectively, it was declared too important to fail, where the Trump administration took a 10% stake in the company. And this is really a bipartisan effort. So the only reason that Intel is really surviving is that through the Biden administration, it was a massive recipient of the CHIPS Act, right? The CHIPS Act was sort of Joe Biden's signature act to bring a whole host of money into America, specifically for the chips industry. Now, that benefited TSMC and Samsung, who are the world's #1 and #2 makers of chips, but it also benefited Intel. Without that money, I don't know that Intel would be surviving at all right now. But since last summer, it's up something like 450%. So the market turnaround has been enormous. I'm just arguing that this has a lot more to do than just shareholders. This is, frankly, a geopolitical important bet for the entire country.
But if it was an easy bet to make and win, wouldn't this have been done decades ago? One of the big arguments about the U.S. moving further in this race is that it takes a long time to get these chip manufacturing plants up and running. It takes a lot of highly skilled labor to keep them running. And we've seen them be built in places like Arizona and elsewhere. But it will take such a long time for the U.S. to eat into that 90% plus that you say Taiwan has. So what are some of the other challenges in the U.S. getting this company to where it wants it to be?
Yeah, so making chips is the most consequential, most complex things that humans have ever done, full stop. And Intel was a historic leader who really lost its way. And Taiwan is really the only place where this has continued at Moore's Law, something that was coined by Gordon Moore, the co-founder of Intel. So this is a comeback story for Intel if they can do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not at all sort of overly bullish on the prospects of them doing it. This is like, cutting edge physics. We're literally getting to like near atomic levels of what it means to do the lithography for chips. So chips, they're the size of a fingernail, let's say, the one that goes in an iPhone. But like at a molecular level, it's literally a skyscraper. There are dozens upon dozens of layers, and that's what allows you to have literally billions of transistors on today's modern chips. So we're talking about stuff that's so amazingly complex. It's kind of amazing that this is even possible at all. It's basically black magic. So the idea that one can really forecast what's going to happen and what companies will be involved in the next few years is really difficult. But that's why I say if it's not Intel, it's not any other American company.
Well, fascinating. We encourage viewers to read your piece. Patrick McGee, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you.